Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's great to be with you again tonight. It's really exciting to see what's going on. Sometimes I feel a little guilty because everything's going so well in the business and everybody's growing and the volume is going up and people are hitting pin levels and the rest of the world is scratching their head wondering what they're going to do. The message in that for all of us is you do have the cookie. You do have the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The proof is in the pudding. Residual income goes on. And this is the opportunity really to help people. There's an interest that's higher than it's ever been because one, they're going stir crazy. They don't have anything to do. And secondly, they have a problem. The future's uncertain. So this is a great time to talk to people about the solution that we have. And it's amazing to see what's happening online with Zoom across the country, not only with the weekly 90-day fast track or group or all in, teams, update calls and accountability calls of what all the leaders in the team are doing together, but also the individuals doing the text and then setting up a call and getting a senior partner online. We're actually discovering it's an easier way of doing it because it's instantaneous. You can just get on the phone, get on the Zoom if you set it up, and then you're not alone. And another thing that people begin to realize is they're much better doing it this way than alone on a phone call or going to see the person because they got their notes and you can actually go through your routine or what you want to say and be very precise and organized because you got a script and you sound very professional. So it's really great to see what's been happening. I'm not going to go to it yet. You're too good.
Your grandkids are watching you.
Oh, they're on?
Yes.
So Aiden and Ava, it's good to see you. This is going to be a lot of slides and teaching, so you probably won't be interested. I know you know how to do it already, but hi, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for checking me out. I always forget that my grandkids are not my kids, they're my grandkids, but we have a lot of fun. And I hope that you're having a lot of fun. So what's been happening with Zoom, I want to go to the slides now. It's pretty amazing that we're all staying connected. In fact, there's more communication, more meetings, more connections, more one-on-ones, more two-on-ones, more follow-ups, more trial runs happening than ever. And of course, because we're an online shopping and internet marketing business, we're able to get products to people and solve that problem too. So this is a great time for everybody. But today, I'm going to stop talking about residual income constantly and start talking about how to get people to evaluate what can give them residual income. Remember, that's the differentiating factor. That's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That is the highest of economic treasures on the economic ladder that everybody seeks and wishes. And normally it's not available, but you have it. And therefore, you can give them an offer too good to refuse. And the offer too good to refuse is a chance to be in the game. And it might be luck. It might be the fact that they got it and really want to work at it. It might be the fact that you teamed up with them. And because what you're looking for is the right people. And the offer too good to refuse is, if you understand the residual income and want to do this and understand it, let's get some people to evaluate it. And by working with them to get them to evaluate it, people lead to people. It doesn't matter if they do it or not. I'm not so interested in getting them in as who they can lead me to. Because why would you ever want to sponsor somebody that can't lead to anybody? And that may have been your problem for the last couple of years. But we're going back to the way we built it in the beginning. And it's just amazing to see what's happening because of that. So let's have a lot of fun. Elizabeth is really tearing up doing this. We're going back to how we did it in the beginning. It's amazing. to see. I was on with Cheryl Duchess the other night on a pop in, and then Blacks, and then Don Martin, and before that Elizabeth, and everybody's just fired up. This is really working. So, you know, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know if you're kind of like in limbo or whatever, but if there was ever a time to do this, it's right now. And people have the time, you have the time, and it's really working. So let's talk about this evaluation approach. To begin with, if you're sold on residual income in the process that we've been describing, this is how it happens, by getting people to evaluate it. The conversation is about residual income. It's about finding a solution so they don't ever have to be in this situation again. It's a conversation about an incredible platform, actually a technology platform that provides a way where people can shop or people can market products, and it tracks it, and it ends up providing a residual income. And all you need to do is take a look at it, because you might know the right people, in which case that could mean some money to you. But in order to do that, what do you have to have? You have to have a list. And that's really the first thing you're supposed to do in the business is have a list of 100 people. But let's just start with 10 or 20. While you're stuck at home, this is a great time to do it. And they don't have anything else to do, so make that list. And what we want to do when we make the list is think about, why would they either be good at it, or why might they know the right people? You know, some people are internet shoppers, some people are like techies, some people, you know, are entrepreneurial, some people are social butterflies. But there's always a reason why they might be right for this, or they might not be right for it. Timing might not be right. And I always try to give them an excuse when I'm doing the evaluation approach that will dismiss them from having to do it, so that they're not trying to think of an excuse or feeling like they might get stuck. So I, you know, let them off the hook right in the beginning and say, I want you to look at it because you might know the right people, in which case it could mean some money to you. You could end up benefiting. But I know that you're busy, you know, with Little League Baseball, or you're busy with the church, or you're doing the political thing, or whatever it may be. I try to give them an out. You know, I know you went back to school and you don't have much time, and you're not going to want to be doing something else on top of that. And that's fine, but you might know the right people, and later things might change, and then you'll be in the position to benefit. So there's a lot of things we can say, but there's two parts to this. The evaluation approach leads us to the people, and then when we show it to them, and a lot of people are starting to get this, and I went into it recently, that you don't have to show the whole plan. Don't be so anxious to get through the whole 5 steps, especially when it's going on for a while, they don't have time, they're getting antsy. Just sell them on the 2 to 3 year plan, or residual income, or the big picture. If you get them there mentally, the rest is easy. You can show the 5 steps anyway. Nobody remembers them the first time anyway, do they? You know, it takes 3 times. And that's why I tell them right up front, put your apprehension at the door, put your, you know, you can relax tonight. You can't get in anyway without seeing it 3 times. And the first time you see it is going to create more questions than it answers. The second time you see it, you're going to see things that you didn't see the first time. And the third time, if you're right for it, fireworks will go off, because you'll see how it starts to, all the dots start to connect, and how it can work for you. In which case, you may be right for it. And I'll commit my time to you over the next 30 to 90 days to test it out. And if we end up leading the right people and have some people that love the product, you're on your way to making a 6-figure income. So isn't that an offer too good to refuse? They don't need money. They don't need education. They don't need connections. They don't need to leave their job. They just need to try, because you have an offer too good to refuse. Residual income and the chance to try it out to see if it can work for them, or if they can lead to the right people. And I'm asking you to do me a favor, my friend. You know, take a look at it and tell me what you're thinking if you know the right people. So, you know, that's about as unpushy and unobsequious as you can get. So it's the opposite of recruiting and trying to get people in. I really don't want to get anybody in that can't lead to the right people or lead to some customers. And so I'm finding out up front, and it's easy to do because there's no pressure on them. I really hope you're beginning to comprehend this. And when they don't work out or timing isn't right, they basically are disqualifying for now. And that's fine, because why would you want to take on people in any business that aren't suited or ready or capable of doing it? Okay, like I always say, not everybody gets into Harvard. You got to qualify. Not everybody gets into my business. And that's why I like to tell them, you know, I can only take 2 to 4 people at this time, or my team can only take 2 to 4 people. So I don't know, you know, if the timing's right for you, if you're the right person, but if you lead to the right person, that would put you at the top of the list. So I'm just making sense to them. So get people to evaluate the concept of shopping annuity or the unfranchised business and see if they know the right people. I'm not asking them to get in. You've got to remember that. I'm asking them, who do you know? And if they know the right people and we show it to them, they're interested, then they become interested and they may be the right people. It's like, you know, pick up basketball out on the sandlot. Okay, you pick somebody up and you didn't know that they were any good, but when you start seeing them dribbling and shooting and laying up, whoa, we found a winner here. And that's the way it happens here too. So if they do know and you partner with them and they know the right person or lead you to the right person, then it could mean some money to them. And it's just that simple. So the no decision close part of it is when I show the plan. First, I close them in the beginning. They have to choose the residual income, which we talked about in the last 2 sessions, and the 2 to 3 year plan, which is the blueprint for success and their financial success. Most people work 45 years of their life to end up in the 95% that are not successful, and they spend all that time making somebody else successful or contributing to them being in the 5% because they didn't have a plan for their own financial success. Here they do. This is what it's designed for. So, you know, we show it to them and it's a simple choice. If they choose a 2 to 3 year plan, if they choose residual income, then it's worth doing a trial run, doing a test market. And I tell them, because you chose it and you see it, I'm willing to dedicate some time to you. Now, I have a script. And this thing is a psychological masterpiece. If you follow it, if you got a job to do a commercial, or if you got a job to be in a play or a movie, and you're all excited, you would get your lines, your script, and you would have to practice them and actually be able to, you know, to memorize them. Well, it's the same thing with this. And when people work with me, or when Andrew and I work with somebody, I say the same thing all the time.
Yes, you do.
Okay? And there's a reason for it. It's because they are going to imprint. They are going to start to do, and I'm going to gradually edge them into doing it the same way I do it. So it's also part of the no decision close, as part of booking the follow-up to talk to them now about the evaluation technique and the trial run and how to do it. And you know, on the Zoom thing, we're telling people what to say, and then to text them, can I give you a call? I have my mentor, sponsor, you know, partner here, and we'll tell you about how this evaluation method works. And if you like it, it might end up meaning some money to you. So then they get on. And it's a totally different world, a different atmosphere, because you're not nervous. You have your partner there and you have your lines, you know exactly what to say. But at the end of the meeting, everybody knows that when I say, now look, don't worry about understanding all of this. I know the mind can only absorb what the rear end can endure, and we're about there. And so, you know, we're wrapping up. But don't worry about understanding all this. There's an awful lot here, a lot of numbers, a lot of figures. That's not what's important. And that's why you have to see it 3 times. I remind them what the deal was and why they had to see it 3 times. But It's mind-boggling that there's so much stuff here, but that's not what's important. The important thing is that you chose a 2 to 3 year plan over the 45-year plan. You see that we have a technology platform and a marketing company, a product brokerage company that has the products, and that we can set this up and do it. You'll understand the details of it and the tracking system and the 5 steps as we go. But because you wanted the 2 to 3 year plan and residual income, I'm willing to spend the next couple months doing that with you to see if we can lead to the right people. It's just that simple, folks. So be sure that you have the script and you read it and you practice it and you do it and you help contribute. And then the other thing that makes a monumental difference is teamwork. Don't try to do this alone. You're going to have some disappointment. The atmosphere changes, the mood changes, the energy changes when you're doing it with somebody who's making money that they can't question, or a senior partner. And remember this, they don't know that the partner that you have on the phone isn't successful. They know that you're not successful, maybe. That's why friends and people from work are the hardest ones. And that's why you almost have to have somebody else there, because they'll listen to them better than you, and you edify them and you back each other up. They're the expert from afar. They're, the partner that's bringing it into the area that has the connections. You see, you don't need to be the one who's expert or the Bill Gates type, or the Steve Jobs type or the JR type. You just need to be you, and you have the connections to the right people. They don't believe that you can make this thing work anyway. Usually your friends don't think that you're bright enough or smart enough or connected enough, or well, maybe connected enough, but that you can actually help them make 6 figures. But they do believe, you think about this, that you might have the connections. So that's what I emphasize, that I have the connection. So when we do this, we're setting it up with a no decision close. I'm telling them that there's no decision before I start. I use the evaluation technique, and it's all about qualifying, seeing the 2 to 3 year plan of residual income. And if they want that, then there's no decision to make, because we will test it out. We'll do the evaluation technique. So you see how the puzzle starts to fit together. Everything is woven together to get this result. So you can, up on the, by the way, these slides, Andrew, we do send these right away, right? These slides, we're going to go into some actual scripts. And more so than any other slide series, this is a pretty important one to print out or to have on your desktop, because it has the scripts. So we're going to do this step by step. And as we do it, it's going to turn into the trial run and the ABC pattern naturally. It's just like one thing leads to another if you follow the method. Okay, and remember, this is how we built the whole company. Now, I'm going to give you an example or sample scripts of the evaluation approach, different approaches, different scripts, different lines that you can use to get the light bulb to go on, to get somebody to see it. But then there's going to be questions, and it's really kind of difficult beforehand to tell you every question that you might get asked. But as they come up, or as you're hit with them, okay, if you give them to us, we'll tell you how to answer them. And this is how you learn. Experiential learning is the only learning. Elizabeth Weber is great at this business because we did it in the beginning, and she continued doing it, and she's done these things 10,000 times. So you become good at them by doing them. And in the beginning, we're going to do them with you. So, I always make an excuse for them when I'm doing the evaluation approach, because if you don't make an excuse for them, they start combating what you're saying. They start thinking, oh, he's trying to get me into something, or I don't know where this is leading, or he hasn't called me in a long time. Why is he calling me now? And they start not listening, but thinking about, how am I going to get out of this? And they start formulating an excuse in their mind. I want them to stay open-minded. So I tell them, listen, I realize that you're busy with school, or you're busy with, your 3 kids and all the activities. I realize that you're busy that you just moved. Whatever the reason might be, everybody has a reason, right? And you probably don't have the time. But you know, I don't know if you'd be interested or not in this type of thing, but you're well connected and probably you would know the right people, in which case you'd be doing me a tremendous favor. It may end up being that I did you the favor, because if you lead to the right people, the way this is set up is you get credit for it and you may end up with residual income. So I realize that you're totally dedicated to whatever it is, church work, business, their passion, hobby, children's sports or whatever, and don't have a lot of time. So you see, by making the excuse for them in the approach, they stop, the tug of war stops of, you know, who's pulling, you or them, back and forth. And if they do have someone who might know the right people, you and your partner will show it to them. So I tell them right up front, I'm just new at this, or I just found out about this. It's incredible what I see happening. I'd like you to take a look at it, but I have the connections. I'm tied into the top people or the person that's bringing it into the area, and this could mean some money to you, and I'll get them to explain it to you. So you see how that gets the new person off the hook. So again, this is the opposite. I want you to be thinking about this. And by the way, I'll never get through any presentation. The way they're set up is they just keep going and going. You know, it's kind of like at the end of a class in school, the bell rings, you get saved by the bell. But I'll pick up where I left off next time. By the time we're done doing this, you are going to be so skillful, so knowledgeable, so confident that it's impossible for it not to work. The only way it cannot work is if you don't do it, if you don't have the list, if you don't get a partner. So it's the opposite of recruiting or trying to get people in. I ran across this through a friend from school, or a friend from where I used to live, or a friend from work, or whatever it is. And it's an internet marketing platform that average people can earn significant residual income online. And they or the company or my connection needs someone to get it off the ground in this area, whatever the area. Here it says UK, but it could be Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Bucks County, you know, Tampa, whatever. It already does billions in the US, Canada, and Asia, and thousands have made 6 figures and hundreds have made millions. Now listen, I have the connections and I know the people that are bringing it here, and they can explain it. You may or may not be interested, but if nothing else, you might know the right people, in which case it could mean some income to you for leading them. And I don't want you saying to me later, how come you didn't cut me in on it? How come you didn't tell me about it? It takes 30 minutes to an hour to see an overview. And I was wondering if we could get together on Wednesday night, or you don't even have to leave your house because of this, you know, situation that we're all in. We're going to go on Zoom, you know, and bam, I only have room for 4 people. Do you want to be one of them? You try to tie it down. These pictures of the people are on top of my scripts, just so you know. Do you know what that means? I can't read the right side. You're not listening to me. Okay, so hey, Don, so I'm going to give you 9 different approaches. You know how to get that off? You guys, the pictures of the people on my team were covering up the slide. Okay, so anyway, yeah, Andrew's a little slow, but my assistant, Anna, she was right on top of it. That was
probably my fault, though.
It was your fault, right. Okay, so here's another example. Hey, Don, Lauren and I have been looking for a way to pay for the kids' school and build a retirement fund because the company's 401k crashed a few years ago. You know, you and I talked about it before, and I know you are kind of in a similar situation. I don't know if you found any solutions, but I have to find something. And so what are you doing Thursday night? Because I have something that might address that. So I clear the time first. I'm not going to invite them if they can't do it Thursday night. I might, you know, say, what nights are you open this week? Because I might be able to get the person that I know to rendezvous with us on Zoom. Okay, so at any rate, we started looking around and talking to people, and a friend from college told me about this technology platform that has just blown up. It has similarities to social media in that it tracks relationships and a footprint of friends and followers. You know what I mean, right? But it also has an e-commerce, online shopping, and product marketing functionality built right into it that tracks what everything that people buy or spend in your following or network. So you know how it works. What if it could track, like Facebook or IG, tracked what everybody was buying that was a follower of yours? So they have a financial vehicle that extracts a percentage of the margin from brands, stores, and suppliers and accumulates it until you get paid. It's kind of like a shopping or spending, but it also funding an annuity with your spending. And you know, you get it on your entire social network, not just you, but everybody that leads the people who lead the people. So they also have a 360-degree turnkey internet marketing system where you can choose from 14 different billion-dollar market cap verticals to sell online or retail. I mean, you know the way online selling's going. They provide you everything. They also have a 360-degree turnkey internet marketing system where you, okay, I just did that, right? And it's really interesting, and the company is about at a tipping point. At any rate, I have the connections and would appreciate it if you would evaluate it with me. My connection's coming over, and it only takes 30 minutes to an hour to see an overview. They only have 4 openings coming up, so I wanted to include you, or at least get your take on it. And listen, there's no big investment. It's just overhead that can be cash flowed. And I know that you're busy and you're like coaching in your kids' soccer team, so this may be bad timing. But if nothing else, you might know the right person or two, and in that case, it could mean some money to you for leading to them. So I know that you know the entrepreneurs from your advertising business. So come to think of it, they may really be interested or know the right people. So can you stop around 7 o'clock? Or can I text you and we put you on Zoom? Can I pick you up at 6:30 and we ride together over to my friend's place? It's just 10 minutes away, so you don't have to find your way. So do you see how all the logic connects in that and totally keeps preventing them from thinking the wrong thing? And it's an offer too good to refuse. And I led them right into the corral, right into the, you know, the meeting. So let me go to the next slide. I'm stuck. Something's wrong. Thank God I got Anna here. Okay, so there's number 3. I hope that you like this. You know, the real value of this is taking the slides and doing it. And you can, if you understand the thinking in this slide pattern, you can take any situation, any person, and apply it to it and come up with your own script. But if you get the technique of what I'm doing here, it's the same technique for everybody. I just modify it for their situation. Okay, so Joe, remember the other day when we were talking about nutraceuticals and all the scientific breakthroughs going on? And if you get on, we were talking about the fact that if you get on board with the right people, it can lead to living a longer, healthier life. I mean, we both experienced some of that. Well, the funny thing is that we were also complaining about how we work ourselves to death and laughing about it. But, you know, this must be serendipity or something. But last week when I was at the doctor's office, he told me about this company he hooked up with and that they're cutting edge in preventative health care and nutraceuticals. And it blew my mind because that's what we were talking about. But what was really interesting is that they also have an online education and marketing program and provide the website, products, payment processing, and fulfillment if you want to get into that. So they also track the sales and the footprint of who leads to who, and they pay a retail profit and on a cumulative volume. They pay weekly checks, residual checks. So there's this guy there that's been doing it for 6 months on the side and making $1,500 a month from repeat customers and and another partner. So I checked it out a little, and there's tons of people making bigger money. I mean, these guys are small fries, even 6 figures. And I thought it was interesting that this kind of double play on both things that we were talking about exists. I mean, and at any rate, the doc and his partner are coming over to my house this week to show how it works. So I know you went back to school at night to get your master's, and I know that you have class Tuesday night, but I would appreciate it if you would come with me, because this is on Wednesday night, and evaluate it. It only takes an hour, and if you don't have time to do it right now, but know the right people and lead to them or refer them, well, and they get selected, it could mean money to you, and you could end up having that 6-figure income and getting these products that we always are looking for at wholesale. So I'd like you to be one of the people that I have coming for Tuesday night. So that, you see, it's hard to say no to that, isn't it? And it's all based on the conversations that we have had. I hope this is making sense for you. I can't see it, so when I say, does that make sense? You can't nod. But at any rate, here's another one, number 4, Sue. I know you're a big time online shopper and know about internet marketing and e-retail. I say, I'm matching the approach to the person. If that's true of her, right away, I'm engaged with her. She's not fighting me. I've kind of complimented her and acknowledged that I know something that she's really good at. So I ran across someone that has a business opportunity with a franchise-like turnkey system, but they call it the unfranchised business because there's no franchise fees or royalties. And I checked it out. And a little bit last week, and there's a lot of people making money at it. And I was thinking, you see how the brick and mortar companies are being disrupted and displaced, or even replaced by online shopping and e-commerce, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why you're all over it. Well, this is a time to get involved with this shifting trend and lead the parade rather than getting into the tail end of the parade. And at any rate, the guy that I met showed me an incredible program and platform. And it's kind of like Amazon or what Shopify does, but you own your own website that they set you up with. And then they have the tracking system where they track all the sales and the footprint of what people lead to people. And you get credit for all the volume, 100% credit of the sales volume without dilution to infinity. Everyone that was involved gets credit for. So it really has some synergy. And, you know, they have an arrangement and financial vehicle where they pay weekly residual income checks. And I just discovered it, and I'm brand new, so I can't explain everything, but I am connected with the people bringing it into the area. And you're so bright at this. I mean, you know more than me. I want you to come over to see if it makes sense. Am I going crazy, or is this exactly what we should be doing? So I really would appreciate it if you look at it with me and evaluate it, because you know more than I do about this type of thing. And if it stacks up to be what they say it is and it makes sense to you, it might be something that we could consider doing. And if you're fed up with work and you could recommend the right people, if they become involved and lead to the right people, well, there's a way that you can get credit for it and make some money. I just need to do something this week. What days are you available? Are you getting the drift of this? Are you nodding? So remember, you can take these scripts and use them or modify them. So, you know, another friend, hey, you know how social media works? You know, on social media, people lead to people and are tracked and connected naturally as friends or followers. I mean, we all do it, right? Okay, well, the diagram of that looks like a family tree, right? They agree. And influencers are able to promote products to them and get paid big money, huge money. But no one who, isn't it funny that no one who leads to those people gets paid? Just the influencer that was in the following gets paid. You know, and then advertisers can offer products to groups of your followers with specific profiles. That's how they do it. And they're likely to buy the product that they have in mind. But those who lead to those people who they sell to don't get paid. So I found something where it has a similar tracking system that with an IT widget tracks what people buy, but it looks exactly like social media, and a digital financial vehicle that tracks, accumulates sales, and pays everyone in the referral thread or in the following that led to the purchase. It's revolutionary. Man, you need to look at this with me before it blows up. You know, and you can, so you can say it's like social media and not MLM. And a lot of you get stuck in that area. So this is a way to flip that on them and use an example that makes a lot of sense that they're familiar with. You know, its name is shop.com, and it's like Amazon, but with people power. You know, Amazon has no people. You can't even call them up. And nobody benefits but the shareholders in the company. And it has this has a 360-degree turnkey system with a universal shopping cart that provides a way to get paid for shopping called a shopping annuity. And it's kind of like a franchise, but it's called the UnFranchise business with an online e-commerce package and 14 different billion-dollar consumable market caps in which any entrepreneur can earn retail profits and residual income. I just saw this thing and it's incredible. And with everything that's going on in the retail market and, you know, this pandemic and everything, this is a perfect opportunity or way to set ourselves up, never have to worry in the future. So again, it just makes too much sense. So tell JR's story. You know my story of telling people about a movie virally spreading to 300 people and being able to track it. You know the story. I'm not going to write it out and put it here, but that story of how the company actually was created and the light bulb went off, okay, is very useful. You know, you tell the story. People believe in stories more than they do in facts. So he started the company based on this phenomena and called it one-to-one marketing, where people hate to be sold. We know that. We all hate to be sold, but they love to buy. So if you know what people want to buy already, you can provide it to them at better quality, lower price, eliminating brick and mortar, inventory, advertising, and shipping costs, and pay all of us for leading to the people rather than the advertising and the big conglomerates and, you know, established companies. So it's pretty cool. What do you think? Boom. So that's 7, 8, 2 more to go, right? This is a system that tracks everything an unfranchised owner or customer buys or sells and their footprint of who they lead to directly or indirectly. You know how you get your circle of friends. You don't really know where they came from, but one person led to another, led to another, led to another. It just happens naturally. Well, this tracks all that. The system extracts a percentage of the margin from the brands or suppliers that of anything that they buy, and accrues 100% credit without dilution for a year to everyone in the thread, to everyone who led to somebody, to pay them a residual income. They have a financial vehicle that converts orders, sales, and shopping into income. It's revolutionary and amazing, and I want you to evaluate it because you're technology minded. I'm just telling the story, okay? So you tell me, would people look at this, doing this? And so you can put these lines in front of you. They can't see that you're using your crib sheet or your cheat sheet. And if you have an Andrew Weissman on the phone with you, or an Elizabeth Weber, or somebody making money, it doesn't even matter if they're making that much money. If they know what they're doing and you edify them, they're an expert from afar and you have the connections. Folks, I don't know how to convince you, but this really, really works. So here's another one, the last one for now. This is a 360-degree turnkey business system for internet marketing and online shopping or e-retailing. They provide you with a universal shopping cart and a platform, plus individual marketed e-commerce websites, thousands of highly profitable, exclusive branded products, and millions of name brand products and partners. Now, I'm just going to pause for a minute. You know, that's a lot of words, and it's very true, very accurate, very sophisticated, very informational. Nobody wants to say they don't understand it. Nobody wants to act dumb, but you sound smart and it sounds very interesting. So the only thing that can happen is they have to get together to learn more. But by having these descriptions that are accurate, and probably they can't comprehend it all at the moment, but it sounds good, leads them to evaluate it. And when they ask questions, that's the reason they have to evaluate it. So they also provide fulfillment, payment collection, shipping, tracking of orders, a digital arsenal of social media and marketing tools, branding and advertising, publicity, a sophisticated back office, and metrics and analytics. I've never seen anything like it. It's like this stuff would cost hundreds of millions of dollars if you did it on your own. And they provide a tracking system that tracks all of your customers and business partners, sales purchases, and the footprint of who they lead to, tied to a financial vehicle that translates the sales into residual income checks paid weekly. I mean, that's just incredible, because everybody shops, everybody needs things that they provide that we sell to them, and you're getting the cumulative benefit of it in a check. So they also have product lines and marketing programs in 14 major vertical consumable markets with e-commerce sites and market support. And this is where the action is today. This is where the trends are going, and it's really revolutionary and at a tipping point. I mean, I don't want to miss out. So they package or bundle this into what they call an unfranchised business, which is like a franchise, but without a franchise fee or a royalty to pay them. So you don't even need to invest. You don't need money. I mean, it's very interesting, and I cannot punch a hole in it. I've tried. They're just hitting $1 billion in sales. They're going to be a giant. I want you to come over, being that you're smarter than me, and punch a hole in it. Wow. Can you do this? Can you do this if you have the script and a partner? You can even divide the lines up. I hope that this is helping. I can't see you. I can't connect with you visually, but you tell me, okay? And here's the point. There's no pressure. They're doing it as a favor, as a friend, for a friend. I tell them that. I'm excited about it. I give them good information. I already established why I'm looking and why I want them to look at it and just evaluate it. And they just may know the right people, in which case they get the offer too good to refuse. It could mean residual income for them just for having led to the right people for me who wants to do it. Isn't that amazing? This is a technique that I discovered many years ago that I've used consistently, building 4 major organizations with different companies and building Market America with it to what it is today. This is how it was done. So they have everything to gain and nothing to lose, and you have the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and the technique that works every time. So it's the opposite of recruiting and trying to get people in, and if that does not work or is awkward, then try doing 3-way calls or 3-way Zooms with a senior partner and build the partner up and edify them, building their credibility and that you have the connections. They don't know them, they know you. The partner comes on and makes that magic difference where it makes sense to them and they don't fight you and question you. It changes the atmosphere. So give the upline partner on the call their bio beforehand. So if you're doing this with that noise was, I ran out of time. I'm not even 1/4 of the way through.
That's okay.
That's okay because next class, but give the partner the bio beforehand, and a reason that they're a good person to look at it and refer someone to, or a reason that they might be good at it, which would be the reason to do it. So if the partner knows that, they can personalize how they speak to them. This is how we did it from the beginning. This is what Elizabeth Weber always did. And when I did it with Tony and Pam, it's the way they did it. I know that Rick Hannon did it this way. This is the way the founding group of the company got it off the ground and led to you. So, the evaluation approach, you learn it by doing it with a partner. You don't learn it by reading these things. You have to do it to learn it. When it works, you're going to jump up and down with joy. It's just practice. Learn it by doing it with a senior partner. Rehearse, practice, have fun, do it together. Tag team. Next time when we get together, I'm going to give you what to say when they say, well, is it one of those things? I'm going to tell you the answers to and how to handle questions or, snide, sarcastic comments that sometimes come out. I'm going to tell you how to disarm them. I'm going to tell you how to get them on your side. I'm going to tell you how to charm them. I'm going to tell you how to be funny with them. I'm going to tell you how to have fun. So whatever they do, if you have the list and get a partner and do the evaluation approach and don't try to get them in order to lead them to see it, to qualify them by saying that they want residual income in a 2 to 3 year plan, then it starts to multiply because we're going to do a trial run with them and they have their list of 100 and their people also have a list of 20 to 100. It starts to multiply so that the probability math is in your favor. It's going to be impossible not for somebody to stand up and say, get out of my way, I'm going to tear this thing up. And then everybody gets credit. And that's what gets them all in. We made it work before they had to join. Okay, so I'm going to teach you all the answers to questions. This is an ongoing series. I got all excited and only got 1/4 through tonight. So there's more.
Look forward to next week's lesson.
So I look forward to seeing you next week. Use this. What you don't use, you lose. The real key to this is experiential learning, just trying it with somebody. I want to hear what happens. Please tell me your stories, your successes, and when you trip. Because I'll take where you trip and show you how to do it, and it'll help everybody. We're in this together. Let's do it together. Let's have fun. This is your year to make it happen. I believe in you.